Hi everyone, it's Eddie here. Eddie Makes Art, and today I wanted to use a stencil on my gel plate. But here's what I want to do. I want to make some Christmas gel prints, Christmassy, holiday-ish. Tis the season and whatnot. So I pulled out traditional colors. So I have greens. I have some greens here. Like I have a hooker's green, permanent green, deep. This is a sap green. I have here Jenkins green. I have some festive green. All the greens. Do I have any other greens? I just have a larger version of the sap green. I have fern, but I think it's no, it's too holiday. Not very holiday-ish for me right now for what I want to do. So and then of course I've got some reds. Here's a quinacridone red, carmine red. Here's another carmine red. This carmine red is actually transparent. This one is semi-transparent. I have a cad red, deep hue. I have gold. I have some. This is ice blue metallic. I have this here. This is a metallic as well. It's a iridescent blue black. I have silver. This is a ocean green. But I wanted to do some print with like just blues and silvers. I thought that would be cool. And what's another blue I should use here? I'm just going to use this as primary cyan. What else do we have? Here's another type of gold I could use, and I also have copper and bronze and some titanium white. So let me give myself a little room here to groove, and we'll get started. We'll do a couple of backgrounds, and then we'll bring the stencil into the mix. And for my background paper, I'm using my typical Hammermill 32-pound color copy paper. So let's see. Let's think of about. You know what I really should do? So I stay within the confines of an 8.5 by 11 sheet. I'm going to put one underneath the plate, and that will allow me to kind of work in that space without having to put, fill up the plate or act, it's a good guideline. All right, and what should we start with? Maybe the blues. So we could do the blue. I think maybe we'll do this ocean green. It's brand new. I forgot. I have to take the little foil thing off. Oh, and I have this here. This is a iridescent blue-green. So maybe we'll do a little bit of both. Do some dotting work. I'm going to put the metallic here, yeah. And then that should be enough, right? What do we have here? I just don't want to put too much in the background. Maybe we'll do a little bit of is it too much metallic? I don't know. Let's do it anyway. We'll do some of this darker. This is blue black iridescent. This may look totally poopy, but you know what? Let's give it a try. Just trying to get it in the space and have enough where it gets to every corner, because yeah, we want to fill up the paper. Get my deli paper down. Now I know, less paint, but that is just the that's my thing. I put too much paint down. But we'll have really beautiful looking pup sheets here. And the pup sheet, if you're not familiar, is a pickup paper. It's paper you use to pick up things like this on the gel plate, like when you're cleaning up the edges and all that good stuff. And let me grab my Baron and give this a nice smooshing down. That's a technical term. Let's see. Probably going to be leftovers on the plate, and that is okay. But we have a really cool background now. There's one. So let's go ahead and use this up. We'll use this, the rest of this that's on my brayer. That's the word. Words are hard today. Let's do a darker one. Why not? Put some of this blue down. And that's good. I don't think we need anything else. There should be plenty on here. We should get it out to the edges there. Now see, this one may not be enough paint, but that's okay. It's just a background, and we're going to be adding more to it later. I'm always concerned to get the edges. That's always the hardest part. See, and I know I've just missed two over here. Okay. Well, when I pick it up, instead of cleaning up the edges, I'll use that paint there to get those missed spots. And there's more than a few, but that's really cool. Okay, here, down like this. And get some here. Maybe this work. All right. Not as easy as you'd think. All right, so here's a trick. You can take a little bit of paint. Where's that blue? Here it is. I'll take a little bit of paint here on my finger, and I'm just going to go over these areas here. And just kind of blend it out. So if you like to get messy, this is your chance. Forgot these areas here. Of course, you could do this with a brush, but I don't like to leave brush marks. So I just use my my thingy. Now I'm covered in painty. That looks good. Okay. Let me, I'm gonna clean this up because I want to go ahead and get onto some green. All right, let's do a couple of green backgrounds. I'm going to start with this here. This is one of the lighter ones, a hooker green, and this is a permanent green. Let's do some dots and see if we can make this interesting. Oh, too much of a dot. Let me see if I can spread some of the love there. Oh, no, it doesn't want to come out. Spread some of that out. And then we have this other one, this brighter green. We'll do a little bit of this. And how about some of this bronze? I don't have much left. And that's okay. I don't need much. Let's see here. There we go. Ah! Eddie, you're just a mess today. Well, here, let's spread the wealth, as we say. All right, come on, Bertha. Okay. Before I overmix it, I'm going to stop and get my paper down. This one should be really interesting. So I figure on the darker ones, obviously, we got to figure out a contrasting. We want to make sure that the layers are contrasting enough. That's a nice color. I don't know if I'm gonna like this one. Let's see here. Well, not super, but here, you know what I'm gonna do? I am just gonna use my sprayer, clean that off on there, cover up some of these less than awesome areas. Oops. Well, not too bad. Got some areas here I can fill in. Come on. Here we are. Oh, gee. Gotta get my fingers off it because now I'm just getting it all mussed up. Okay, is that one dry? That one's dry. I've got this stuff here. This is the lovely festive green. And I've got some hooker green, Jenkins green from Golden Fluid Acrylic. So I'm going to do a little mishmash of these two to make sure this is mixed well. Interesting little nugget here. All right, where's my smaller? Here we go. Oh, see, this I like. Paper. All right, guys. Fingers crossed that this is the one that's gonna wow me. I'm not worried about the back because these are getting these are going to be used for holiday cards. So basically, the backgrounds or the back of the prints won't be seen; they'll be glued down. I told you that festive green is a great color. It is just whoop, whoop. Love that. It kind of, in a way, kind of looks like it's starting to want to look like wood, like a wood grain, but not. Weird. I know. I'm weird. All right, you go there to dry. And let's see, I've got some paint left on here. So maybe we'll do some with a background with some sap green. Throw a little of that in there. And how about do some gold? Just a little bit of gold. Let's see what this gets us. Ooh, that's fancy. Yeah. Trying to spread it out and keep it from getting white patches. What is on here that's giving me this mark? Very strange. Paper, Eddie, that would be super awesome if we get some paper down here. Well, that's fun. Some cool, interesting marks there. I like that. Interesting stuff. So let's move on to the reds, shall we? Let's do some red. Let's start with this carmine here. This is a carmine red, transparent, or actually it's crimson or carmine. Yeah, it's the same thing. Just carmine in a different language they have here, but it's a Winsor Newton Galleria. I think for this one, I'm gonna keep it just the red. Is that a good idea? What do we think here? Yeah, I think I am gonna keep this just red and just the crimson alone. Nice. All right, get that down. Oh, look, and that even picked up. That's kind of cool. A little bit of the green that was left there, but it kind of looks like gold. Oh, look, we got that right down here too. Love when stuff like that happens. Let me go over this, see if I can get some of those little white things. No, you don't want to use my finger, maybe. Well, that may get covered up too later with the addition of a stencil design. All right, that's really red. Yeah, I know. That is quite red. Here we got some of this quinacridone red, semi-transparent, which I think is very similar to that other red. But that's okay. No worries there. Oh, I forget I have this. This is a pearl red, the Amsterdam. I'm trying to put it on the dots of paint so it mixes in a little bit better, maybe, hopefully. All right, so actually a smaller brayer would be best. That was a save. Get you down there. Get you over here. And let's get this one all nice and smoosh down. Fingers crossed. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. You know what it kind of looks like, at least here in person, is giving me kind of candy cane vibes in a way. Not the stripes, but like, you know, when you're eating a candy cane and the white peppermint starts mixing in with the red peppermint, right? Like that. Okay. So let's do. Silver and ice blue. I figure if I do lines here, like I could get my paint to the edges easier instead of being centered. That should be enough. This might even give us 2 prints. This is very streaky-ish, so I'm trying to maybe smooth it out a little bit as best I can. But it has that dendritic quality. All right, let's pull it back on and see what we get. I'm going to leave the edges because I want to, I think I have enough paint to do a second one. Pretty cool. Now, let me get this here. Scrape it up. Redeposit it. This is the weirdest gel printing session I bet you guys have ever watched. We have fun here, though. We really do. Not enough paint. Let's add some more. Yeah, it's definitely not. You know, we'll do a little bit more blue. Let's do that. I like this. This is really beautiful. Metallic blue. Yeah, it's wanting to pull up because of some of that drying stuff. So let me just get this best as I can. It's kind of weird. It's going to be patchy, so I'm not expecting too much. It's a little patchy, but it's not terrible. I come in and just kind of try and pick up some of this stuff here. I don't want to mess with it too much because my hands are going to start get all over the fingerprints are going to get all over. We don't want that. Okay, let's get this cleaned up. Got to let all those prints dry, those backgrounds, and then I'll come back and we can do some stencil work. Look at all these beautiful backgrounds. Nice and dry, a little curly, but that's okay. All right. I am going to show you now what stencil I want to use on these. And this is another stencil by my friend Yolande Alexander. And she's Devon for Art Rex, or Devon Rex for Art, the number 4, on YouTube. And she's a wonderful artist and designer. And she created this one. This is called Creeping Vines, available at PM Artist Studio. This is the 8x10. They come in, I believe it comes in the 3 sizes. So 5x7, 8x10, and the larger one, 9x12. So let's get this bad boy down on the plate. Make sure it's nice and secure. And since it's on the top of the pile, we'll start with the green backgrounds. And so let's see, what do we want to do as a contrast color to the green? Do we dare do a red? We can totally do a red. Now, here's the thing. I'd have to make sure it's an opaque red, because I don't want a transparent red. Would probably turn more of a brown with green behind it. So got to keep that in mind. Another color, we could do white. That's kind of nice too. There is, we could do gold. Gold would be wonderful too. All right, right, so actually, before I do this, I'm going to put the paint underneath my stencil. So let's get some. I'm going to do this one with some gold. Actually, no, that one. Well, yeah, let's do gold. Why not? Let's do a gold. And again, I'm missing my paper under here, which I really should put here. Let me do this one here. So 8.5 by 11. Yeah. I'm wondering because this is a cardstock that I'm using here to roll off my brayer on. Yeah, let's just go with that. This needs a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more. See, when I need to do more paint, I don't, and when I need to do a little bit, I do the opposite. Very, very wacky dude, huh? Beautiful. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lay this down over and pull the design through the stencil. Best I can. So from these, I will be cutting a piece large enough to fit on a 5x7 card. And I think I can probably get 2 5x7s out of these. Depending on, what part I want to use. But it'll all get used. Just kind of trying to get as much of it as I can. And oh, this is what I need. Where are my pickup sheets? They're behind you, Eddie. Those cleaned up. All right, let's see. This looks. It's so wow, bright and shiny. I love it. Really good. Okay. There's some gold in there. Not going to worry about it. I'm going to get in here with my deli paper. Get that out of there. And for this ghost print, I'm going to put this on here. Now I'm thinking that might have been not a good amount of contrast for that background, so we will see. You know what? I don't hate it. Not at all. And I love the texture it gets when it's from underneath the stencil, because it's not, because it's, you know, it's you're pushing down on it, obviously, so it's going to create those little marks going on in there. Pleased with that. All right, and then for the other one, fell on the floor. So let's do our red on here. I'm going to leave the gold. I don't mind the gold because that will add to this when we pull that. And this red is a Cad Red Deep Hue, and it is solid, which means opaque. This paint has a bit of an odor to it. I've never noticed that before. It's not off-putting, it's just odd. Especially, like I said, I've never noticed it before. And that tube is almost empty. Maybe the nasal passage is just a little extra sensitive today. Okay, and here, at this point, just take your time so your paper doesn't slide around. And, you know, get in there with the fingers so that way you ensure you get everything you can through the stencil. That's pretty cool, huh? I like that. And you see what I mean? Now, if you look very closely at the edges, they are darker than the paint we put down. And that's because that the green behind a red is going to give it a more of a browner tinge to it. But I think this will be fine. I'm not worried about it at all. I think this will be good. Get you there. All right, here's what I'm going to do with this one. Get the rest of this on here. On a separate piece of paper, which I have. Oh, here we go. I'm going to pick some of this up and not leaving it down too long because it's a brand new stencil, and paint to paper with the brand new Yupo stencil, you can really muck things up in the fact that it will stick. The paper will stick. But look at this. We've got a really cool extra print here. And you can see some of that gold. It's still showing up. Beautiful. All right. So let me get these edges here. I think it's time for a new sheet. Just want to get into these nooks and crannies here. Now for this red, I'm going to put it on this background here, the silvery blue one. Put that here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Now that is some contrast. All right, this is like, doesn't want to play. Look at that. I love that. All right, set you aside. We're gonna have to pick this up. I'm not cleaning that up. I'm going to use it. So here, let's do something fun. What if, you know what I have that's nice and I forgot to use it earlier? This is a sort of craft paint, hobby paint. It's metallic, but it's pearl. And I think that would be a really cool, really nice, elegant combo here. It's going to have a pinky hue because some of that red was still wet. But I'm perfectly fine with that. Like I said earlier, it gives you the kind of call that candy cane vibes, right? Okay, I'll be back. I'm going to let this dry and make sure we get all that up, and we'll finish up the rest. All right, kids. This one is ready to be pulled. Look at that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This is a candy cane special. Look at that. That's so cool. Give it a wiggle into the technology here. How wonderful that is. Okay. That's it. We've got 2 blue, a silver, and the red. Let's go ahead and let's get the silver or the blue. We'll do some white. I want to do white on this one. What I'll do is I'm going to mix up some white. I have some titanium white here. They always create a skin. Let's do a little titanium white and some of this pearl. So I'm going to just roll that out a little bit. That way the white has a nice shine to it. That red's coming off my brayer. I should have switched, but it's really not that much. Well, there we go. You know what it is? Because it's in here. Get some, let's see if I can clean some of that off. All right, well, it is what it is. I'm not going to stress about it. I think for this one, then, I will put this, we'll go to the red one. And then I'll start again with the white, and I'll do, for the blue, and I'll do I have to use a different brayer. See what happens is the paint gets stuck under here, the wet paint, and then the brayer like pushes down and rubs against it as you're brayering, right? And it catches that wet paint. I always forget to clean that bit off, but no worries. So here is this red one here. No, let's do this one, the candy cane one. Okay, let's see. It's doing well. Not bad. Look at that. Very cool. Let me get some white off of here. I'm just going to use this. How about that? It's here. It's available. Just use it. All right. Not too shabby. Let me get this up. And we can pull this ghost print. There's not too much red on here because there doesn't appear to be too much red there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this print down on here. Oh, very nice. Very wintry vibe. Edge. Get that edge all painted up. That's lovely. Okay. I need more room. This pearl. Oh, there's something. Here we go. A little bit of paint skin there that's trying to gum up the works. And I'm not having it. Okay, so it's the other blue one. Oh no, I didn't want to do this on the blue one because I wanted to do something. I want to do something else on there. Okay, so let's just do it on this silver one. Or is that really silly, dumb? Because I totally was expecting to. Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna freak out about it. All right, I should have really thought about it, but I just get so excited, and But we got some cool prints and a couple of cool bonus prints. Well, that's nice. I like that. I like it. All right, I think for this silver print, I want to do some of this Prussian blue, and maybe we can do two colors. Could do these two. So I'm gonna Do some of that there. Some of this here. Oops, that is way too much, Eddie. All right, well, it is what it is. Might get a few prints out of this one. Just, it's a rough one today. Okay, this would be cool. Let's take a little peek. Oh, that's lovely. At least this worked out. All right, so we'll get you over there. Got stuff here. Let's put some of that back on there. And I need a plain sheet of paper. Here we are. Let's drop that like it's hot. Let's see what we get. Now, this may pick up some of the red that was left on the stencil. So we might get some surprises here. Okay, you see how that's pulling? It's sticking there too. Okay. That is the sign that I missed, that I almost left it down too long. Because here, some of that paper, it's pulling away. It's stuck to here. So you got to be careful with that. But look, that's really cool too. Stunner, stunner. And I think that, where is my, here's you. Clean up that edge there. That's good. Let me clean this off before I continue. And look at that, the design. I love when that happens. The design comes up off on the cleanup sheet from the brayer. That's so cool. Look at that. All right, so this one, I'm gonna let this one dry. I like that. So I'm gonna let this one dry. That'll be a pull for another day. Okay, the last print we have is this red one. And I think we did white on the other ones. So for this one, I think just I want to do the green. So maybe what I think, perhaps I could do like, what if we mixed this green with some of this, maybe the hooker's green? Let's give it a try. That is the hooker's green, and this is the festive green. Let's see what we can come up with here. think it'll be a nice green with a beautiful shine to it. That is nice. Very nice. Okay. Let's go with this one here. Like I was gonna do it darker, but I think I'm better off going with this shade than anything darker. All right. Perfect. All right, kiddo. Last one down. Oh, that's exactly what I wanted. That's beautiful. So beautiful. And actually, I'm going to take some of this. Well, no, I'm going to leave it alone. I was going to add some green, trying to match that, but I'm going to leave it alone. I love this. Woo-ha. Woo-hoo, woo-ha. I think I'm going to put this one on here. That will be wonderful. Oh, look at that. That's looking cool, huh? All those colors. So what I will do with these prints is after they're nice and dry, I'll put together some cards, and I think I'm gonna film that. So that should be I'll be filming that pretty soon because I gotta get these cards out. All right, that's nice. And that is something, like I always say, you can build on. So let me get this bad boy out of the way. Not you. Oh, that was underneath. I was like, where did that fall from? So let me see if I can gather all the prints. I'm going to hang that to dry because that still has some paint on it. Well, the red one you just saw. And then we have this one here. And you see, as it dried, it kind of evened out the coloring, but it's still red. It did not turn brown on us, which is nice. So once these are like dry, I will stack them and then I'll put them under a heavy book for a few hours, and that will get them nice and flat so they're easier to work with. And there's this gold with the green, which is it's subtle. However, there's other things I can add to it. So, I'm going to let them sit for a day. I'll come back and look at them again and see if there's anything else I can add. There's this one here. It's really cool. This one was when we cleaned up off the paint off the plate and the stencil. And then here we have our candy cane white, or the candy cane background with the white over it. And here we have the cleanup with the white metallic, with the, not the white metallic, the pearl paint is what we used to pick up whatever was left on the plate there. So that's cool. Then is the silver background with the Prussian blue and the blue green. We did a little ombre with. I quite like that. And this one here, the red design over the silver. Well, the lines of the stencil, I should say, over the silver background. And it's cool because it picked up some of the red that was on the plate that was left behind. I just think it's a really cool, fun, grungy sort of print. Do we have 3 here? Okay. So this was cleanup. We did that one. This was the first blue background, or one of the second blue backgrounds with the white that we picked up off the plate. And then this is the one where the paper went down onto the stencil and picked up the paint through the stencil. And again, some of these, there's definitely stuff that I want to probably do to them to add more. But for now, I think I want to let them dry completely and then flatten out, and then they'll be ready to go. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this, doing some fun holiday prints with me. Nothing, I mean, they're not super holiday-ish, but they're holiday-ish enough where I can make some really cute cards and send them out. I'm not a card maker, but you know, I'll throw together something decent. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you very soon. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Bye, everyone.